Hi everyone, it's BDevine, and I hope that everything is fine and well with you and you're happy wherever you are. And I am bringing this message today, thank goodness, as I have begun the Light Leaders Academy, and that actually started on Monday, and there's so much that so much that has been added already into the academy. So I really hope to see you there. This is our way forward and away from all of the mundane. And I am going to be sharing a lot of information with you over the semester. But today I wanted to talk a little bit more about Pluto energy. I want to talk a little bit about what's going on around the world. We will check on the Worldometer and also on the news. So I am going to tell you what they're saying on the mainstream news right now, as many countries have lifted all of their mandates. And we want to talk about that a little bit and also give a message from the Crystal Mandala Oracle, which always boosts us forward. We're also talking about, as I said, the energy of Pluto, okay, and what that means as we are getting nearer and nearer to the 22nd of February. And this is the day in which Pluto remains in the exact position it was at the signing of the Declaration in Philadelphia, 1776. What energy was going on at that time? What were the founding fathers thinking? What were they trying to achieve? And even though this is the first time Pluto has come around for us in our, well, obviously we are here to see it. It was 248 years ago that it comes around. And other countries have already had their Pluto return when this energy when it comes into a country's natal chart energy. Now, this is very important because since 2008, Pluto has been in Capricorn. Oh, my dogs are chasing squirrels. Pluto was in Capricorn. 2008 it began. And then in 2014, things began to shift. And then 2017, things began to shift. And a lot of this had to do with Saturn energy as well. Then in 2020, well, we know what happened in 2020, right? And this is when this happened, and when these sorts of things happens, and I do have to be careful about words that I use, okay? When these kinds of things happen, and they've happened in history, it's usually when there's Saturn doing its thing across, the board, or Mars as well. Saturn and Mars having to do with bringing things up to the surface, diseases, etc., viruses, you name it. Now, in 2022, Pluto, I'm going to explain a little bit more to you. I'm going to screen share in a minute. Pluto comes into this space. Now, what this means is that there will be a lot of changes up until that time. We're seeing them already, right? There's so much that is happening right now for all of us, okay? One thing is Mercury is direct now, station direct. So, okay, we don't have Mercury retrograde happening right now. There's still some other planets that are. I am no astrologer. I just want to share some information because it pertains to our spiritual growth, okay? Things are on the verge of totally crumbling worldwide. I was talking to a mother yesterday who desperately wishes that her children would see, how she sees. I'm the same. I wish that my children would see how I see and not be afraid or not do things out of fear, not react through fear, because there's anxiety that's rampant, sleeplessness, fights, arguments, okay, people getting the wrong idea, people complaining is out of control like usual, but many losses are happening as well, and not just losses that we're having in our own lives, but big companies are experiencing huge losses. Mr. Zuckerberg for one, twice now. It's billions of dollars lost, okay? What do you think's happening, and why do you think that's happening now? As we said a long time ago, or as I said a long time ago, everything has to crumble, okay? Everything that has any kind of negative energy in it has to crumble. It has to fall. There's no choice. It can't stay and then pretend it's good. It can't tell you it's going to be good. It can't, it just can't exist anymore in the world that we want to have. Okay, it doesn't matter what side of the coin you flip. I don't care. All I care about is humanity, truth, justice, healing, a new direction for all of us. People call it the new earth. People call it, I don't know. It used to be called Urantia. Whatever this energy is called, we're shifting that vibration anyway. And you are seeing the results of that happening. You are seeing with your own eyes. And this is what it might take for those that we love who are constantly watching the news and, being fed what they're being fed. And that's just the way that it's been for the longest time. It was set up as a way of controlling people, having news and having media outlets and all that. And it just grew in momentum. And how anyone can think that, that it's not corrupt in some way. Well, just start following where the money goes back to. Okay, it always ends up being to do with money. People being paid a lot of money to say something or keep their mouth shut. This is the sort of thing that's been happening forever. What happened with H.G. Wells, War of the Worlds, okay? When everybody heard that on the radio, they prepared for an alien invasion because they believed it was happening. He made it so convincing. It was a story. And of course, later on in the 80s, I had the soundtrack of War of the Worlds and, was marveling at the pictures and Thunderchild on the big ship in the ocean with this big Martian leg just right through it, and people running down the street with the red weed everywhere, and it's terrified, everybody fleeing and terrified because they were listening to what this was. And in this particular instance, they had come. If you watch War of the Worlds, the newer one, I don't think it's as good as just listening to it, but they came. And what was the only thing that took them out was germs that we have. Took them out. Weren't prepared for that, And now what's happening is this germ that's around is, it's been doing a lot of damage. Or has it? Most people actually get out of hospital and quite fine. There's a common argument that having your V means that you won't be in hospital with serious complications. Really, there's only 98% of people that are quite fine and don't have those complications. 2% worldwide have them. And you can guarantee that they had some kind of illness or something before. And that's just fact. And we'll go over that. So I don't know what the big, well, at least I'm not going to be hospitalized, deathly ill. Well, I'm sorry, but I don't know anybody, and not in my immediate group anyway, that's happened to. And I'm not saying it hasn't happened. But again, look at the circumstances around anything that happens when you've got to be hospitalized. What's going on with you? You're already unwell, People who are immune compromised pass away of catching the flu. What's the difference? This is I don't want to say it. It's a C that is a flu-like virus, okay? And when I had it in October last year, it was like having a chest cold, a really bad chest cold. And yes, I had it in my ears, I had it in my throat, I had it in my chest and back up into my throat and back into my ears. You know, it went in a weird way. Luckily for me, I'm always working on myself, you know. I didn't give in to anything. I just, plenty of fluids, plenty of rest, all that sort of stuff. You know, my throat was the thing, it just locked up. So, you know, most of us are fine, even if we do become unwell. And if therapeutics were given to people, they would also recover instead of having to be hospitalized. But no, you know, that doesn't fit the narrative of what they want you to know. So we're going to have a look at certain things and also at the different countries that have lifted, all of a sudden, lifted their restrictions, let's just say, as well. Okay, why? Why do you think that's happened? You know, why do you think they're doing that if they're all so scared? And also, if the numbers are going through the roof, why? Why are they doing it? Okay, we will take a look. This poor squirrel is trapped in this tree outside. All the dogs are lined up under the tree. They probably wouldn't do anything, but still. Okay. All right. Let me see if I can screen share with you. I am talking a little softly today. It's just how it is. Okay. I've been doing so much talking this week, it's not funny. All right, let's do the screen share first. Okay. Okay, so we're going to take a look at this. All right, Take Back Life. More nations, and this is from US News. Okay. This is the first one I found. Take Back Life. More nations ease coronavirus restrictions. Many countries that have been especially hard hit by the virus are easing their tough and often unpopular restrictive measures to fight C-19. Okay, so we have Denmark. Passengers stand at the Nørreport metro station in Copenhagen in Denmark on the 1st of February. Denmark has become one of the first European Union countries to scrap most pandemic restrictions as the country no longer considers the C-19 outbreak a socially critical disease. Bit by bit, many countries that have been especially hard hit, see how they're saying especially hard hit by the CV, are easing their tough and often unpopular restrictive measures to fight C-19, even as the O variant, deemed less severe, has caused cases to skyrocket. I can tell you what. Okay, so Associated Press, are you ready? Late night partying at clubs, elbow to elbow seating in movie theaters, going without asks in public, especially in Europe and North America. Step by step, many countries are easing their C-19 restrictions amid hopes the O variant wave may have passed its peak. It's not what it is. The early moves to relax precautions based on declining or flattening case counts. Wait a minute. I'll just be a little bit bigger over here. In recent days represent what could be another turning point in a nearly 2-year pandemic that has been full of them. The extraordinarily contagious O has fueled more cases worldwide over the past 10 weeks, 90 million, than were seen during all of 2020, the outbreak's first full year. So 10 weeks they're saying, okay, I want to write that down. So 10 weeks, they said 90 million. Okay, we'll have a look at some things in a minute. 10 weeks. Okay. But the WHO this week said some countries can now consider carefully relaxing the rules if they have high immunity rates, their healthcare systems are strong, and the epidemiological trends are going in the right direction. Okay. New cases worldwide for the week of January 24 to 30 were similar to the level of the previous week, though the number of new deaths increased 9% to more than 59,000. 9%. Okay, reflecting the usual lag between infection and death. According to the UN Health Agency, the most pronounced pullbacks in restrictions are in Europe, for many months the world's epicenter of the pandemic, as well as in South Africa, where the O variant was first announced publicly, and the United States. So in Britain and the US, as in South Africa before them, C19 cases skyrocketed at first, but are now coming down rapidly. In the US, local leaders have served up a hodgepodge of responses. City of Denver, which is our capital city here, is ending requirements for proof of V and mask rules for businesses and public spaces, while keeping them for schools and public transportation. New York's governor plans in the next week to review whether to keep the mandate at a time when cases and hospitalizations have plummeted in the early O hotspot. New York City is averaging 4,200 cases a day, compared with 41,000 during the first week of January. So the US as a whole is on a similar trajectory, with infections plunging from an average of over 800,000 a day 2.5 weeks ago to 430,000 this week. So England, France, Ireland, and the Netherlands, and Scotland as well, as several Nordic countries have taken steps to end or loosen it. In some places like Norway and Denmark, the easing comes even though case counts are still hovering near their highs. Some governments are essentially betting that the pandemic is ebbing. Rest assured that the worst days are behind us, said Health Minister Fahrettin Koca of Turkey, where the number of daily infections topped 100,000 on Tuesday, the highest on record in the country of over 80 million people. Last week, England ended almost all domestic restrictions. Masks aren't required in public, V passes are no longer needed to get into public venues, and the work from home order has been lifted. One lingering condition: those who test positive still have to isolate. On Tuesday, see, this is just last week all of a sudden. So on Tuesday, Norway lifted its ban on serving alcohol after 11 p.m. and the cap on private gatherings of no more than 10 people. People can sit elbow to elbow again at events with fixed seating. Sports events can take place as they did before. Now it's time for us to take back our everyday life, says the Norwegian Health Minister, Ingvild Kjerkol, said, tonight we scrap most measures so we can be closer to living a normal life. And this person says, I still wear a mask because I want to protect myself and others whose health is not so good or who have health issues, said the retiree. I don't want to try to pronounce that name, okay? I have several things, health conditions, and so for me it's a good way to say to others, keep your distance. So more than 370 million cases and over 5.6 million deaths have been reported worldwide. That is from the beginning of the whole thing. 5.6 million, okay? 370 million cases. We'll take a look at that. And this has been reported worldwide since the beginning of it as well, okay? So chances are you'll get it, you're immune, you're not going to be, unless you're unlucky 2% of the people in the entire world, you're not going to be hospitalized or die in that way, okay, unless there's serious complications that are already happening and people need to demand from their doctors the therapeutics which help you to fight it and to get much better much quicker instead of all of this hospitalization and things, okay? Okay, so the loosening of the O's grip in many places had given rise to hope that the outbreak is about to enter a new phase in which the V will become, like the flu, a persistent but generally manageable threat that people can live with. That's what it always was. Okay, the numbers tell you that. It's not me telling you that. Scientific people can see the numbers themselves. Switzerland on Wednesday scrapped work at home and quarantine requirements, announced plans for an easing of other restrictions in the coming weeks. Despite record high infection figures, hospitals have not been overburdened and the occupancy of intensive care units has fallen further. There are increasing signs that the acute crisis will soon be over and the endemic phase could begin. So, while the O has proved less likely to cause severe illness than the Delta, experts are warning people against underestimating it or letting their guard down against the possibility. And they keep on saying new, more dangerous ones. Okay, so they're concerned that a narrative has taken hold in some countries that because of the V's and because of Omicron's high transmissibility and lower severity, preventing transmission is no longer possible and no longer necessary. WHO Chief Tedros and Adhanom Ghebreyesus. Anyway, nothing could be further from the truth. WHO's Emergencies Chief Dr. Michael Ryan warned that political pressure could lead some countries to open back up too soon. That will result in unnecessary transmission. But the thing of it is we are aware of what's going on here. We are aware of the risks, and frankly, people are sick to death of it, hearing about the next thing and the next thing and the next thing to keep us all trapped. We're not going to have it. And this here is the way that they put it to keep you afraid is unbelievable. And throughout the pandemic, many countries are going their own way. Italy has tightened its health pass requirements during the surge. As of Monday, it began requiring at least a negative test with the previous 48 hours to enter banks and post offices, and anyone over 50 risks a $113 fine. Oh my God, who hasn't been beat? Austria, which is the first European country to impose the mandate, is planning to loosen the C-19 restrictions this month and take such steps as letting restaurants stay open later. Greece has ordered fines for people over 60 and over who refuse. Why? Why? Doesn't that tell anybody anything? Did they ever care if anyone over 60 had a flu shot? Did we ever know about it? Did we discriminate anybody about their flu shots? Did it still mean that you got the flu? Anyway, in Germany, where infections are still setting daily records, curbs on private gatherings and requirements for people to show proof of V or recovery to enter non-essential stores remain in place. So, on and on and on it goes. The Pacific island of Tonga went into lockdown Wednesday. The country had been virus-free, but it went down until after discovering infections in 2 port workers helping to distribute aid following a volcanic eruption and tsunami. The country had been virus-free. New Zealand will ease its strict border controls, freeing vaccinating New Zealanders from having to stay in quarantine hotels run by the military. But the un-V still must quarantine, and most foreigners will still have to wait until October to visit quarantine-free. Just days ahead of the Beijing Olympics, China is sticking to its zero COVID policy. It imposes strict lockdowns and quarantines quickly when any cases are detected, mandates masks on public transport, and requires people to show green status on a health app to enter most restaurants and stores. See, it's quite kind of dangerous. South Africa this week announced that it has exited the 4th wave, saying scientific studies show immunity has hit 60 to 80%. Masks still mandatory, but a curfew has been lifted. Schools are required to fully, not just partially, open for the first time since March in 2020. And Dr. Atiya Mossam of the Public Health Association of South Africa said such steps are a practical move towards acknowledging that C19 is here to stay, even though we might have a milder strain. We are acknowledging how transmission occurs while basically balancing people's need to live their lives. Okay? It's all there. Okay? It's all there. They, in the midst of numbers going through the roof, they're getting slack on it now all of a sudden. It's not because of doing it because we need to go back to normal and all the things that they were saying here. We need to treat it like a manageable threat that people can live with. Should have been that way at the beginning. I know that for the first little while we have to figure out what's going to happen with this, right? In 2020, when it all started taking place, you're going to have to figure out, how this is affecting people and what's going on. Totally understandable how we had to sort of, lock down and all that sort of stuff. But then, when they realized how it all worked, then we should have been careful, of course, but going about our business. And that way we would have achieved, herd immunity a lot quicker. But that wasn't going to be the case, especially with the way that things looked like they were going. They're not. Okay. I can tell you that right now, that the agenda that was planned did not work. And that's why you're seeing all of this. And there's also trouble with lawyers, etc., doctors that are out there. There's a whole nother side to this, okay, that's been going on as well. So we want to take a look at the Worldometer real quickly. Okay, you can go to this www.worldometers.info. Okay, it is run by the WHO and the CDC. That is why I'm allowed to put it in my videos. Okay, it gives you updates on everything. Money spent on video games, internet users, email sent today, right? There's something in here I want to quickly look at. See, nobody cares about this. 929,478 tons of toxic chemicals released into the environment this year. Okay, this year. Look at that today. 17,357 tons today. Okay. All right, so water-related diseases, deaths caused by it this year, 79,927. They still have malaria, etc. 1,493 today. Look at the number of people with no access to a safe drinking water source. It's a wonder that there's not more than this number. And this is this year, so this is only February. Okay. Energy, solar energy, oil pumped, oils left. Okay, days to the end of oil, 41 years. All right. Communicable diseases. All right. 1,232,149 this year. January, February, in 2 months. This is our number. Okay. You got to understand the C19 number for the whole world for 2 years. Okay. For 2 years was 5 point something, right? But this is this year. 2 months. Okay. Communicable disease deaths. Seasonal flu deaths in 2 months. Deaths of children under 5. How? Abortions. Deaths of mothers. HIV AIDS infected people, 43,381,199 around the globe. Okay, this is the total number of people. Okay, and these are the deaths caused by HIV AIDS this year, 159,000. These are the number of people. It's huge. That is huge. If we saw that number with the C, okay, I'd give it to you. There's a problem. Look at that. Malaria. Goodness me. Cigarette smoke today. Look at that. Okay, suicides. 2 months. 101,000 people have gone. Okay, and 128,000 in road traffic fatalities this year. Okay, so let me get this back to the C business. Okay, here's the updates. Okay. 390,999,088. 5,000,007. See, really that hasn't gone up since the last time I know that numbers are numbers, okay? So they've gone up, but not as much as what's just been told. We've been told 90 million in the last 10 weeks. Okay, so out of this 390, let's just focus on 390. 310 have recovered. So where's the other 80? Okay, look at this. Please look at this. Out of the active cases, 99.9% worldwide are in a mild condition. Okay, just like when we get a cold or a flu, we're usually in a mild condition. We can handle it at home, right? The numbers are there. Serious or critical, 0.1%. 90,981 are, serious or in a critical state. Okay, God bless them. Out of the closed cases, which had an outcome, 98% recovered, discharged. So when they tell you, oh, but I'm going to get the V because I'm guaranteed that I'm not going to be hospitalized by getting the C. You were pretty much guaranteed that anyway. So why such hate on people who don't want to do that? So 5,740,906. So 2% of the cases worldwide since 2020. This is the result that we've had. So 2% of people around the world who got it passed away. Out of an enormous number of people who got it, recovered, discharged. Enormous amount compared to this. Enormous amount of people. Okay, so we see the numbers going up. In January, right up. Daily cases 3.7. They were saying 9% deaths. There's not that there. There's just cases. So they were saying 90 million cases in the last 10 weeks. So let's just take it from here. Yeah, see, I don't even want to add all that up, but there's no 90 million there. There's no 90 million at all, okay? No 90 million. Okay, so interesting. The things are changing. And they don't want to say it, but really, if you think about it, at the time when they started to bring out or roll out the V's, okay, look at this. Okay, we were down here. It's just there. Okay, you can look at this yourself. Also, so we have all this going on. I do want to have a look real quick, and then you can go by the country as well. 223 countries are now affected. Blah blah blah. USA is always number one. 77,358,792 in the USA. giving us 165,204 new cases. Total deaths. Okay, so see the total deaths, 923,601. Okay. 923,601. Okay. So for the first year that we had the C, okay, for 2020, and you know how much hell was raised about the numbers of deaths in 2020 and blame of that particular prez that was there, Mr. T, right? There was, and I'm just going to guesstimate because I remember the number, but not exact. So it was, let's just say it was around 220, because that's what kept on being drummed into people's head, was how the number of 220. You have now a number of 923,601 in the, you know, and if we take out the two, let's say, make it easy numbers for us, right? So let's say 7, let's say that there's even 650,000 more deaths in this 1 year, right? 650,000 more in the 1 year with the current person. And this is the United States. We know who's there now. Okay. 3 times as many people gone, and no one bats an eyelash. No one's giving this person a hard time. He restricted us even more and forced certain things on people. And this is the result. It's because of these results of the numbers going up, etc., 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 by what they're doing, that it's causing people to go, oh my God, we need to stop what we're doing real quick here. Otherwise, you know, if people actually look at the numbers correctly and see it like this, and this is, you know, it's here for everyone to see. You know, this is not something that I've created. This is something that's online, and everyone can see the numbers and everyone can see what's happened in the 12 months since, since 2021. Let's say since 2021, there was 220 that died in the USA in 2020. Now we have that number. Okay. Total 923. So 650, 700,000 more under this current, you know, so-called better than ever person. That cannot be ignored. But and it won't be, okay? Because we're moving into this new vibration. I'm going to stop my screen share for a moment. We're moving into this new vibration. And the reason why I do this stuff and we have a look at it, you know, it's curiosity for me as well. Really, the only time that I'm looking at this stuff is to bring it in a way to all of you. I know that people are fighting with their family members. I know that they're, you know, even with my own father, who sadly passed 3 months after his V, that I tried, you know, that I would say, just listen, Dad, come on, the numbers don't add up, Dad. And he was terrified. And so he did anything that he was told to do. And look what happened, you know, and I see family members terrified. They can't do anything. They're in countries that were severely, you know, look at Australia. My 2 sons are left over there and they've had to also have theirs, okay? So before anyone starts anything, you know, it's in my family as well, right? And it's very hard for us as, you know, spiritual beings of light. You really want everyone to be with you on the same path, but they're not. It's part of their journey as well. And all I can say is everybody, as I said before in the beginning, who has been any type of corrupt, anyone, look at Zuckerberg in the Facebook crisis, okay? Look at it. I don't know if you've seen it, but it's there, okay? Things are coming and falling apart left, right, and center, okay? And is it because of fear of getting in trouble? Probably. I would like to also think that all of us who are spiritually minded have had a part to play, a role to play in the lifting of humanity, the awakening of humanity, the people coming together, the light being on the planet, the light already wins. The pillars of light that we've all opened, the declarations that we made for 2020, the things that we wanted to see, and the push of Pluto and the energy of George Washington, back to the Declaration of Independence, the proper ways of doing things, that people had rights, and it was for all, not just for the elite, for all. Not just being they want the rights over here, but not over here. It's got to be fair for all. Have we done that? No, we haven't. Many people are trying to maintain wherever they are, trying to do the best that they can wherever they are. I'm focused on teaching, and that has been amazing for me because that's where I love to be. That is like my greatest goal in life, has been to be able to share knowledge, and here it is. And hopefully my students are enjoying themselves. We get to catch up every Sunday in a Zoom class. But the spiritual mastery, people are really taking things on. And there are some people that I never thought would be interested in things are coming around, and starting. Maybe it's because people are sick of it. I don't know. But when you see someone driving in their car with a mask on, they're the only person in the car. Where did they get that idea from? Who told them that was a good idea? Who said that's a great idea? I don't know. And I don't know because people are being, hyperventilating in their car. So, I get it. If it feels right for you to put something to restrict your breathing to help you to be able to not receive something that's not going to even catch, it, the V is so the C19 is so tiny, like the viruses are, right? It's like microscopic, that it just goes right through that thing, right? And they know that, okay? But if you were coughing and spluttering all over somebody, okay, cover your mouth, like they would have said to us. But why would you be out? That's what I don't get. Why would we be out if we're really unwell? I'm not going to go anywhere if I'm not unwell. I'm staying in pajamas all the time. What a great excuse, right? I'll order my food in. We'll get it delivered. We'll just until you feel better. Just like it. And I know there's some people don't do the right thing, blah 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 blah. But really, even with the extremely high number, you still have a 98% of people absolutely fine. That is the crucial part. That is the crucial part. And the fact that there have been and always have been therapeutics to help people recover very quickly, and that they weren't given, you've got to ask yourself some questions. Not that we want to go there or whatever, but if you've been following the whole thing and doing exactly as you're told and you're still not allowed to because it's going to be more and more and more and more and more, doesn't make any sense. Okay, just be really careful. Keep your vibration really, really high. I feel like it's hard to keep your vibration high with, chemicals and things going into your body, of course, right? Any kind of chemicals, right? And anyway, there's just so much about it. We don't care anymore. I personally am, watching this whole thing crumble, and it's the greatest news in my life to hear the darkness is falling and they don't even know how it's happening. Like the Zuckerberg thing, he's just like, he's in absolute shock at what's happening, because he thought he was safe. Like, I'm just always going to be this, I'm safe. And he's not. Okay. And other people, where is Ellen? Where's Ellen? Has anybody seen Ellen doing anything? Where is she? where are all these people that we knew? Like, what's been going on? You know, people are also passing away, sadly, as well. You know, Meatloaf just went recently. Like, oh my God. So as we move forward, I want you to be prepared in a way for your life to change so much, for your spiritual experience to just begin to flow into your life like never before, for the truth and the justice and the beliefs that you have in your heart to just be a focus for you without being pushy or, you know, we can't, as much as we want to say, hey, why don't you just have a look at this, you know, website here and see for yourself? They don't want to listen. Okay. And we know that everybody has a journey. Everybody has this journey in their life. And it's not up to us to try to govern it or control it or fix it or change it. We can be like a beacon of light, you know, so that they know we're there. Like I always say to my sons, well, you know what I've been able to do in my own life with this, you know, and what my son says is, apparently he says is, well, I've got my feet firmly on the ground, not in the clouds. Well, neither do I. I'm constantly grounded. But, you know, it's like afraid of what they don't know in some ways, or I don't want to try that because it seems bizarre, you know, and it might work. So, okay. But the life changes that have happened to myself, excuse me. This came out of nowhere. The life changes that have happened, the constant, you know, amazing things. Think of 3 things that you're grateful for today. You know, 3 things that you can say that you didn't have when you were wishing for things to change in your life. I'm sure all of you have got them, you know, whether even it's a beautiful day, a roof over your head, a car, you know. I spent many a night outside, you know, homeless and whatever, and you wake up and you're soaking wet from the dew in the morning, even if it hasn't rained. You got to hide and stash all of your clothes and things, and it's just how it was when I was younger, you know. And oftentimes when I'm going to bed at night and, you know, it might be raining outside or it's really cold, I'm like, oh, thank God, you know, I've got a house, got a roof over my head, and really feel for the people, especially the veterans, you know, that are homeless here. I was very shocked to see that when I moved to the United States, to see not only so many homeless people, but homeless veterans as well. And you've got trillions of dollars going to other countries and not setting up some kind of housing program, especially here in Colorado. It's really bad. Some sort of, you know, tiny homes or something like that, where they can get on their feet and get going again. Maybe that's all coming in the future. I really hope so. So what we're going to do here, as I said, I don't like looking at all the news and everything, but I wanted to see, because I knew that there were many countries that had lifted things and what they were going to say the reasons why were. And it seems pretty bizarre to me, right? If the numbers were going up through the roof, that's when they're going to stop everything. Okay. But it's all going to come to the surface, and, you know, this is all part of it, all that's happening right now. Okay. We got to the 22nd of the 2nd, 2022, and we are going to see, oh my God, between now and the next couple of years, when Pluto is finished in Capricorn, we will see a number of changes, some that we won't like and some that we'll love. You know, as things shift and change and people shift and change and ideas shift and change, you are going to be needed. Okay, if you're any inkling of being spiritual, there's going to be people that need to talk to you and people that need to understand, especially if there is things like the churches that come down because of corruption within the churches. You know, it won't be so much that the religion in itself is the problem. It is the corruption throughout the religion, right? the higher ups, etc. And even like I was telling you, people who take these big deals, you know, they take these big deals. We wouldn't even know who they are, but there's suddenly got 1,000 books out there. You know, you've got to be careful of all of that as well. I mean, I don't think they would dare approach me, right? I've self-published my own books, my own cards. I'm doing my own academy by myself. I'm doing it all by myself. No one's ever said, oh, you know, we'll give you 25 minutes, because they know better. I'd be like, you think you're going to get control of what I have? No, thanks. You know, so everything is hard work for me, and that's fine, because nothing worthwhile is easy, is it? Right? Not in the bigger scheme of things anyway. Let's see what the crystal mandala has for us today. See, even this lady, Alana Fairchild, okay, she's done some amazing books and cards, right? But who was she before that? I never saw her on YouTube. In fact, there is a YouTube channel. So I don't think there's many subscribers or anything like that. But yet there's books, there's oracles, there's all kinds of things. Taking a deal. Okay. So maybe once a week or so, I'll have time to be out over the next, because, you know, I'm teaching over the next 10 weeks. So I will be here, and we're going to have a webinar that you will be able to, it will be a private webinar, of course, and you will be able to purchase an inexpensive ticket, and it will be about 3 hours long. Okay, and you will learn some things, do some meditations and some guided meditations with me, teach you some stuff, and you will love it. I'm probably going to do something on spiritual mastery and some regression therapy as well for you all. So I'll let you know when that's going to come forward. And I really hope to see you at the Light Leaders Academy. You will not regret it, your decision to move forward, advancing your skills, knowledge, awareness, and aligning people with their skills, knowledge, and awareness as well, and helping people to heal, you know, really understand healing, how it works. Okay, here we go. What message does everybody need today? Okay, Angel Haniel. Oh my God, that's the angel for this year. And Polychrome Jasper. Sacred Play is the name of the card. Sacred Play. All right. The number is 7. It's a holy number. Okay. Holy number. 7 chakras. 7 days of the week. 7 candles in church. 7. Okay. Angel Haniel and Polychrome Jasper. Sacred Play. We bring you the gift of sacred play. We enter your heart, bringing joy and an ability to have fun, to laugh, to see the silly and playful side of life, and to be entertained by the wonderful spectacle of life. When you know how to look, you will see the joyful hand of the Creator behind so many of the people, places, and things you see every day. You will begin to feel the Creator's delight in creation, and you will feel laughter deep in your soul, a joyful connection with the universe as you realize that even in its strange and sometimes dark mystery, life has a brightness and delight to it, a sense of humor, and a quirky, amusing, enjoyable beauty. We know there's great joy inside you, and we will help you reconnect with that joy now, so even your most arduous challenges will not diminish your capacity to feel the light of your spirit and take delight in your life, okay? So it takes courage to connect with your inner world, to go deep into the truth of your pain and bring love to those wounds, to allow a healing current to transform and free you from the past. It takes maturity to live with depth, to look beyond the surface, and to refuse to give up on your journey when something difficult is asked of you in order to grow. To succeed on the spiritual path, you need this willingness to enter the darkness and liberate the love from within, opening the darkness up to receive divine light. Although there can be great joy in the resolution of such suffering, during the process itself, there may not seem to be much joy at all. Then there is the discipline required to keep your spiritual light shining, the discipline of inner work, dealing with your stuff, meditating, showing up for conscious dance, studying your spiritual books, doing whatever is required to keep you conscious, growing, awakening, when it is admittedly so much easier to slip backwards into sleepiness, judgment, and even procrastination and doubt. It takes so much inner strength to keep moving towards the light. There are times when the spiritual path will feel like a marathon that taxes you beyond your limits, physically, emotionally, and psychologically. To summon the energy to play might seem, ironically enough, laughable. Then, in your fatigue and exhaustion, having worked so hard for your spiritual growth and personal development, you might feel ashamed that you are not laughing, joyful, enlightened, and taking delight in all that is. Don't feel guilty or ashamed. This card does not come with any such intention. Rather, it comes as a peace offering from the universe. The divine is extending a hand of friendship. You've been working so hard. There's a knock at your door. It's the universe in the form of that cheeky, curious, and friendly boy from down the street. He's inviting you to come outside and play. The sun is setting on what has been, and there's a sweet promise of new life and friendship in the air. The prospect of fun, play, fresh energy, adventure, and friendship is before you now. Of laughter and fun, you need and deserve this. It's time for the brightness of your light to fill your heart and cast away the shadows of the past. The way you engage with sacred play will vary from day to day. Colouring in, visiting the local dog park, to be enchanted by the sheer diversity of the hand of the Creator. Dancing in your lounge room, on the beach, or out with friends, a walk in nature, playing a game with your children, or watching a movie that lightens your heart, singing in the shower, going for a drive with your favorite music playing loud, an enthusiastic bout of air guitar, or singing into your hairbrush microphone. What makes play sacred is being present and allowing it to heal you, to lighten your heart and uplift your spirit. There is much seriousness and discipline on the spiritual path, and that is as it needs to be. However, when you allow sacred play to become part of your journey too, the joy within you shall be all the stronger to nourish you through the challenging times. Your ability to take delight in life every day will increase, and in the lightness in your heart will help enlighten the world. Okay? So we call upon the crystal angel of polychrome jasper and angel Haniel, who love me unconditionally. Thank you for the divine healing gift of sacred play. I honor my disciplined nature and the strength of my commitment. I honor the need to balance this with freedom, spontaneity, and joy in opening to receive your gift of sacred play. I open my heart to the light and shine that light through my laughter. Through my own free will, so be it. I choose of my own free will, through this and any lifetime and through all layers of my entire being, to release any shame or guilt about laughter, play, and lightness of spirit. I accept the light-hearted side to my nature because I know I'm being filled with depth and compassion, capable of endurance, but also delight. I accept sacred play as a healing part of my life, restoring me daily through delight. Through divine grace, humor, and unconditional love, so be it. May divine love liberate the playful light and delight of love within all beings. May every being feel the pleasure of aliveness and play. May every being be held in the sanctity of divine protection and delight. May every being be happy and free according to divine grace, so be it. Okay? So when you are, and this happens to me quite a lot as well, it's when we're pushing forward onto the next phase of our journey, we really start to get serious, right? And we feel a little bit guilty if we're letting our hair down, or, you know, having some fun, or going out and having a few drinks, or whatever it is that you do to unwind. You know, spirituality isn't supposed to be restriction. Oh, you can't do this and you can't do that. There are things that can make life easier for you. Number one, if you're thinking about really connecting more vividly and really opening up to the divine and really opening up into the next phases of your vision and your mediumship and your connection, then cutting out chemicals and anything that's blocking your pathway like that is going to be one of the biggest things that changes for you, right? But again, you don't have to do it. You know, if I'm a vegan, it doesn't mean you have to be one. I don't care what you eat. I don't hold any judgment. My kids all eat meat still. And as much as I, know that it's a better way, it's up to them what they do, right? For me, it was obviously the cruelty to animals. So many things are involved when you become a vegan, and you're doing it without looking back, and for me also it was health reasons as well. And it doesn't mean that you don't like the taste of it all of a sudden, right? You do. You do know what the taste of it is. You've been brought up with eating meat, unless you had vegetarian parents or whatever, so for me, cutting all of that out 15, 16 years ago was huge. It was a blessing in my life, and no more stomach problems and all that sort of thing. It all went away. Plus with self-healing. So you don't have to be perfect in this whole thing. You don't have to wear white clothes and that makes you close to the spirit. You don't have to wear black clothes to ward off negativity. You don't have to. If you want to, you can. You don't have to eat this way or that way. You don't have to feel guilty about decisions you make one day, and then try to make it up for the rest of the week or something. There is no judgment. There's only understanding for you from the creator, from source, from, it's connected to you. Why is it going to shun you? The energy of source totally understands you as a soul, your journey as a soul, and how terribly difficult it is. And if you, go out and, have fun or whatever you're going to do, don't feel guilty about it. That's worse than the act. If you smoke cigarettes, being guilty about smoking cigarettes is worse than smoking. In fact, guilt is one of the major things that knock people right down, and dare I say, eventually kills people, because of how much damage guilt does on an energetic level. How do I know this? From 22 years of healing with people. I've been doing this whole thing for over 30 years now, but healing, most part of it started in the year 2000. And, that's 22 years ago now. It doesn't feel like it. And really starting to get intricate with it. Didn't want to do Reiki. Didn't want to fall into a Reiki pattern, but studied it anyway so that I would know. Didn't want to do Qigong and alone, or Tai Chi, or any of these other things just on their own, right? I wanted to make sure I was doing everything, Qigong and Tai Chi and yoga and Pilates and all of those things to help your mind and your body and the energy to flow. But as far as healing, with Reiki and with angelic healing, with working with master guides and all that sort of thing, working with regression therapies, working with my own vision, my own medical intuition in things. It's been an amazing journey. If I just stuck with shamanic healing, then I wouldn't have learned all of this over here. And if I had just stuck with Reiki, then I wouldn't have developed my own methods. right? Tried and tested as well. So anything goes as long as you're not hurting anybody or any animals or children or anything like that. Anything goes in your practices. Yes, if you want to open up more to your abilities, you're going to have to do things that support that. But do you have to do it every single day on the hour at the hour? Well, if you do things at the same time every day, it is a good way to build a habit. But if you fall off and you go and you want to take a day away, or you want to feel curled up in a ball and cry, that does not mean that you're off path. Okay? Doesn't mean that suddenly you're off the bandwagon and there's something wrong with you. You're a human in this physical body. You're a soul trying to have an experience. Things are going to happen. And if you don't acknowledge them, they will build up into a worse thing that can happen. And it may blow you away from spirituality completely. Don't be so hard on yourself. Simple. Just allow yourself things. No one's going to grade you for a day off here and there. Okay? Come back to it though. Just get back on the horse, as they say. Come back to your practices. You know, there are times if you're all of a sudden feeling angry towards someone that you wouldn't normally feel angry towards, go and ground yourself and clear yourself. You know, if you're suddenly stressed about something and you're just all up in the air and you're feeling anxious, go pull yourself back out of everyone's face for 5 minutes and get it together. You know, if you can't ground yourself and if you can't connect and if you can't calm yourself down, nobody's actually really going to be able to do that for you. You've got to really just say, okay, it's happening right now. I'm feeling this way. Why am I feeling this way? I need to pull myself away from everybody just so I can have a moment, just sit down, lie down, or whatever I need to do. Why am I so peed off right now? Why is that person irritating the crap out of me when they wouldn't normally? I love this person. Why are they irritating the crap out of me? I want to screw their face up. Like, you know, why do we get ourselves that way and then feel bad about that even? You've got to be in the shadow side of things sometimes too, right? You know, if you're overthinking something, you won't be able to sleep at night. You know, if you're so used to waking up, then you start waking up all the time and you wonder why you can't sleep. If you're watching high, stimulating games and things, and, you're in it and you're concentrating and then you're trying to go to sleep straight away, you're not going to be able to wind down. If you can't sleep, get up and do something. Then go back to bed. Don't get in a habit of, just, oh, well, I might as well just go look at my phone or whatever. It's stay away from anything that's high stimulation if you're trying to sleep. There's so many people that say, well, I smoke and I drink. Can I still? Of course you can. We're not monks here, right? Unless you want to be. Then you can do whatever the heck you want if that makes you feel good, right? There's too many you've got to do. If you want to learn, that's a different thing. I have students in the academy that want to learn how to help people who are going to be going, through all kinds of hell after the collapse of all of this nonsense that's been going on. There's going to be kids that are finally waking up. There's going to be people that have been trapped in circumstances that are finally breaking free, more than what we're used to. Okay? That it's already there, the need for people to be able to talk, but no one's been able to have the money, or no one's been but people are doing the best that they can. And we're going to be able to create wellness centers for people to actually get well and not have to be on chemical dependency. Okay, not saying what it is. We all know what it is. Those things that they give you, and then you have to have something to counteract that effect and that effect and that effect, and it may give you this and this and this and this and this, and nobody cares. They just want that quick fix. And if it's for something like anxiety or depression or something like that, well, you're going to have to wait 6 weeks. There's no teaching a person how to cope with these things. The complexities of PTSD that everybody has, I don't care who you are. If you've been through something, you have a complexity. PTSD, you really have. And there's a way out of it. Shrinking the inner critic, that thing that hates, that thing that talks to you about how, you're getting old and you're ugly and, people think this, people think that. There's this inner critic that just constantly harps. Who was that in your life? For me, it was my mother, right? Constantly Oh, Becky, you should do this. Oh, Becky, you should do that. Meanwhile, I'm going to do nothing, you know, and it's just always, you know, if I'm doing that to myself, it's not me, it's that mother thing, because that's a nurturer. A person who's supposed to nurture is your mother. If you didn't have that, or you had that, if you had that kind of mother that made you feel guilty about doing something for yourself, oh, well, I guess I'll stay home by myself then while you go out. Did you have one of those mothers? Or, oh, well, I'm really unwell, so you're just going to have to look after mother now. You're going to have to look after your mum now. Tell your friends to go home. I'm just so sick. Like building you up all week that it's going to be fine for you to go out. And then all of a sudden when it comes to the night, oh, I'm just, poor me, right? Or the other side of the coin, it's a father. Either he was absent, or he was there but he wasn't there, or he was there but he was, you know, doing stuff, or violent, or aggro, or didn't protect you. He's supposed to be the protector, you know. A father protects you. So if you don't have someone protecting you, you're extremely vulnerable as a child, right? And when you're vulnerable as a child, you start to overthink, you overstress, you overdo, you worry about everything because there's no one taking care of it for you. So then you're over responsible throughout your life, responsible for people everybody. You want to make them all real happy, because then there's no issue. If everyone's happy, there's no issue here. And I can maybe then do something. Oh, no, there's another problem. Okay, well, I'll have to deal with that problem first before I can do something. And then you sit there going, well, no one does anything for me. Why am I the one doing everything? And then getting really angry about it. And then the cycle repeats, because nothing ever gets resolved. And this is what you find with person after person after person that, you know, I've talked to through therapy, and you know, they've come to me for this. This is spiritual therapy. This is not psychic readings and stuff. This is like understanding, actively listening to someone's story and being able to put the pieces together and suddenly blow their mind with the experiences that they've had are not making them crazy. They've been told they're crazy their whole life. They've been told something's wrong with them their whole life. They've been told that they're too sensitive, or they're too this or to that, or they should have done this or they should have done that. And you know, the person, no wonder you have anxiety or deep depression, because you can't ever fit in anywhere. And you know, you have people scoffing at you for your spiritual choices and beliefs and decisions. You have people scoffing at you because of your kids or how they do stuff or what's going on there. There's judgment like everywhere. You know, you may have been a drug addict for most of your life and come out of it, and you have those trigger points that can easily come in. It's the same thing with any type of thing that's happened to you traumatically. It is like being, it's likened, okay, to being a drug addict, where all of a sudden that trigger of emotion that is there, and it causes you to do something that you don't like doing. Okay, either it's blowing your top, or taking off in your car really, really fast and staying the hell away from everybody. That's what I used to do. I'd drive my car like a rally car, and, you know, just my foot would be down. I'd be wild, right? And go park somewhere and then, you know, just scream or whatever. And then after all of that was out of my system, I would be like, okay, now I can chill out, calm the hell down. Oh my God, how did I get here without being pulled over? Right? And oh dear, you know, that was stupid. You know, then you start sort of reasoning why you've gotten yourself worked up. With me, grief is a thing. When I'm feeling grief, I don't know when I'm feeling grief, because I'm so good at being the one that's on top of it all, because that's how I've been raised, you know, to be responsible, right? So that's my trigger thing. That's my PTSD, whatever you want to call it. So I'm so good at being all organized and on top of everything that when grief hits me, it doesn't, until suddenly I'm really really annoyed, like really angry, really hurt that way. Like I'm angry that another person has left my life. I'm angry that Here we go again. I got connected to somebody and they're gone. Here we go again. That person is just going to leave now because that's what I've always had, you know? And so there, when it's there in your face, even with my father, he left when I'm 5. He dumped me again when I was, 16, 15. He dumped me in 3 different religious communities. He tried to be a good Christian person and all that sort of stuff. I guess he thought he was doing the right thing, but it was just here, no, I don't want to deal with this. You deal with her, and leaving me in precarious situations and not caring only about what he was going to do next. And then leaving again when he passes away. I'm like, I was furious with him, you know. I'm like, come back here. I haven't finished with you yet. Kind of thing, but grief gets me wild. It doesn't, it takes a long time for there to be emotion behind it, because, and that's just something that I've discovered about myself, that it's very hard to cry. That comes from a child who had to do it very silently so nobody would hear, and then going into domestic violence situation where you've just been beat up or strangled or whatever's happened, and you want to cry, but you can't let anything out because they'll hear you. All of those things, all of those traumas. God, you've all been through something, probably 1,000 things when you start adding it up. And when you start to then start be picky about a spiritual journey, oh, well, I can't. Yes, you can. If you're going to anybody that is telling you that you have to wear a certain thing or do things in the way that they want you to do it, and it's totally restricting you from family and friends and money and all that sort of stuff, get away from it. God wants you to, if you believe in God, then you believe that God would want the best for you, surely to God, right? Now you would believe that that's, there, not this fearful kind of thing. And I know that happens through religion. It's like you're in trouble. No matter what you've done, you're wrong anyway. You can talk to God yourself as well, right? You can have that conversation with a higher being, sourceful being, a being of all energy, and that energy will understand you and listen, right? Your divine parents are nothing like your earthly parents. They don't judge you. They don't hate on you. They don't trigger you. They don't cause you to have trauma in your life as part of, your blueprint of life, as part of what you decided that you wanted to really nail in this lifetime. You're like, okay, give it all to me because I'm just going to get through it all this time. I don't want to keep coming back. You might have said that sort of stuff. I don't want to keep coming back. So I need this person, and this one to be a real jerk to me. And they made that agreement that they would be those agitators in your life. And you're an agitator for somebody else, most likely. Right? And if you understand it as a contract, and that you finished that contract when you became an adult in many ways. I mean, you can continue to allow, parents to be manipulative to you, to gaslight you, to make you feel like you're nuts, to not understand you. You can continue to let that happen if you want to or not. That's up to you. For me, it was easier to just cut all that off out of my life rather than have to hear it for the rest of my life when I didn't need to. I understood the lessons. I give the forgiveness. I give love and light, and I move on, and my life changed when I did that. Before, I was always trying to, hello, I'm over here. Hi, look what I'm doing now, and nobody cared. It wasn't ever going to be acceptable. It wasn't ever going to be acceptable. I had to accept it myself. That was the key. No one can take that away from you either. When you accept yourself exactly how you are, what you're doing, what you believe in, where you're moving to next, the adventures that you're having, a happy life, not a drama-filled life, not a doing for life, not a I'm picking up the pieces again life and nobody does it for you. None of that, okay? You make a decision for yourself and you go ahead and do it, and you will be supported 1,000% from the divine. In fact, it wants you to be the little rebel. It wants you to fight against the whole thing. It wants you to make a different reaction in your life, to react differently to the situations instead of the same old way that these manipulative jerks will make you feel your whole life. Oh, if I say this, then Becky's going to do that. Surprise them and do the opposite. You know, when it comes to kids, they always expect their parents to just be a certain way. Do something different. Watch what happens. They'll soon get shocked. Okay. And if they're going their own way, they're going their own way as well. We have to be happy for their journey too. For myself, you know, my 2 kids in Australia, they've changed since I've been out of their life. Like, I'm here. I can't get there. They've changed. They've grown. They've shifted. They're dealing. They're doing. They couldn't do that if I was there. Are you okay? Do you want my help with anything? Is everything okay? You know, they can't, you know, if you're not available, you are forced to deal with it yourself, or end up being one of the people that are just sorry for themselves, poor me, back in the corner, and nobody loves me, everybody hates me, wah, sucking the thumb in a fetal position, and still nobody cares. So you might as well just do it yourself, because you have been there for you your whole life. You have been someone that you can trust. You're someone that's reliable for you. You're someone that shows up. You're someone that can get through anything because you're still here. You're someone that is focused on pleasing, so please yourself. Empower yourself. And all of these people, you watch, they will just move on because it's too hard anymore. You're in the too hard basket all of a sudden, right? Whereas before they were able to just pull those little strings and catch you in their little net, and you do what they wanted you to do, thinking that you were going to have a great time or whatever you were going to do. And then you were thrown back out to sea at the end of it. And then you're like, well, what's happened? And then they got you thinking, well, it must be me. I must have done something wrong. Why does this always happen to me? What a load of BS, right? We've got to understand the manipulations no matter where they lie. Are we manipulated by people lying to us and making us believe a certain thing in our life when deep down we know that's not correct? Why do we still do it? Okay? Why do we stay in situations that are totally wrong for us? What? Because we think we're going to heal that person, make that person see the light, make that person be something that they're not? No. You know, it's when you meet someone and then in the first year or whatever, you know who that person is. If you don't, you might as well just go then. If you don't know who they are after that amount of time, then, and with all that you've seen and all that you've witnessed, they are not going to change from that unless they want to. Okay? They're not. If a person or if a man or a woman truly loves you, they will do anything in the world to maintain growth with you. Okay? Not constantly let you down, and then, you know, you have some kind of really great sort of intimate evening or something, and you think everything's back to normal when it's not. They're just going to keep doing the same thing. They got what they wanted that night with you, and then the same behavior starts again. And they've got you hook, line, and sinker, and you're just falling for it because you want to believe that person, you've seen something about that person that is worth salvaging, and damn it to hell, you're going to get it out of them. You're going to be the one that saves them. You're going to be the one that exhausts yourself. You're going to be the one that is left sad. You're going to be the one that is not going to be living your happiest, most adventurous, fun life because you're not with the right person. Because if you were, you wouldn't be in the predicament of trying to fix everything. They would be willing to do things. They would see their faults and go, you know what, I'm sick of doing that too. You know, I'm a jerk, whatever, and change it, because the growth is the thing. You know, people waste their time. We've all done it. You know, I've done it. You know, myself, wasting my time trying to help the person be the person I know they can be. That doesn't mean they're going to do it. It doesn't mean they'll do it now, at least. And how long are you going to wait for it? You know, I see all these girls, and I hate to point it out, but I'm going to, and they hate on others that have a really good relationship. They're jealous of it. They're upset, and I totally understand that because I was that person too. I'd be like, how come she's got a really good relationship? Wow, she's a real, grumpy. And look at it. They've got this really great relationship. Why? Why? Because they're better than me? Maybe because she's prettier? Maybe because she's skinny? I don't know. What is it? Right? And it's because both of them are working on it together, right? It's not because she's better or he's better or more handsome or she's, sexier or whatever. They're just willing to work on things together, right? And either you're doing that or you're just growing apart. That's what happens. Either it's all everything and you're all working together. It doesn't mean it's perfect, but you're still working together with everything, or it's not. But I used to sit there thinking, how come this person's, how can they have that relationship? How come? What's the key? And then you immediately go to all the things that you think are wrong with yourself. And it's none of those things at all. So if you, for example, had a partner that cheated on you, let's say, the first thing, especially from a woman's point of view, the first thing we're going to think is, there must be something I did. There must be something wrong with me for them to go there. What did I do? It's got nothing to do with you. It's a decision that they made. It's a decision that they wanted at the time. It had nothing to do with what you look like and this one's better. It was just, it's available, I'm there. Because that's who they were. They didn't care as much about the situation or weren't ready for the situation that you were, right? And this is the same thing with everything that we do. We've got to understand our reactions. We've got to understand why we feel the way we do. And we've got to stop hating everything that we do as being wrong and start seeing and being excited about the things that we can do, our achievements, being here, moving forward, taking the steps spiritually, connectedly, aligned, whatever you want to call it, astrally, taking those steps to better your life. It's a lot more than a lot of people are doing right now. A lot of people right now, all they're doing is complaining, driving around with a mask on, arguing with everybody, giving everyone the evil eyes, when you go to the shop or something, staring at everybody, wanting to pick a fight with everybody. Why? Because they haven't developed a way to deal with the stress that we've all been under. Now, luckily, we have. If you're doing the work, you'll be able to get through all of this, right? We've worked out one day at a time, managing one day at a time. We don't have to be perfect. We're just going one day at a time. We're bringing them in. We're grounding. We're connecting. We're in our place of receiving, opening up. We're listening to messages. We're looking for signs. We're open. We're doing our thing. And it doesn't mean that we won't get peed off every now and then or upset with the situation or upset with someone over here or frustrated with what's on the news or what someone else thinks and what they're saying on Facebook. I'm personally so tired of Facebook and all that sort of crap. Like, I'm just in there, put whatever I've got to put on my page and I'm out again. I just can't see all the moaning in that. I've unfollowed all the people that moan all day, I can't. It's got to be positive for me because you'll never see that from me. You'll never see me put up a post that's negative, ever. I will never complain about anything. Actually, people that know me are like, well, they'll say, hey, how you going? I'm like, I'm great. How are you? They're like, what? There's nothing wrong ever? Like, it's like, well, even if there was, why would I sit on the phone and moan to you about it? Like, I can deal with it myself. It's nothing, you know what I mean? Like, it's like they're so used to drama, they don't know how to handle it. There's nothing to talk about. We don't have anything to say. I'm just bright and bubbly. Like, that's who I am. I can't, there's nothing inside of me that would be calling someone just to complain to them. That is not me, And sadly, a lot of people are like that. And I don't know, it's something unresolved, as I said to you. So many things that are unresolved in our life that we're working on probably for the rest of our life. you know, because there'll be something that triggers something that we thought we'd gotten rid of, and then there's something that comes up, and we've repeated a pattern that we did get rid of, or, you know, we quit smoking and we have a cigarette, whatever. You know, this is life. And it's all an illusion, what's going on. So create your own illusion, create your own life, create your own adventure, create your own fun, be your own self, live your own dream. You don't need anyone holding your hand in this whole thing. You don't need anyone telling you it's okay. If you have people cheering you on, well, that's awesome. But very rarely that happens, you know. But if you do, people are like saying, hey, I'm happy for you, whatever you do, then go ahead and do it. Because the time is coming on this planet where we were so finely tuned into our energy and into our manifestations and into our forward momentum that none of what we've been witnessing over the last couple of years will be part of our energy field ever again. That's how powerful it is. Unless you choose it. Because we'll be so far into that channel, that vortex, that change, that healing, that forward movement, that, you know, it really doesn't matter what the world is going to do to itself, what people who are negative are going to do to themselves, what's going to take place in that old energy, because we're in a new energy that we're creating for ourselves, you know. And the idea of aliens or whatever coming to save us, that's a load of BS as well, because they will work with you individually. Yours, planetary beings of light, all that sort of stuff. They work with you individually when you finally clue in to the fact that you actually already are enlightened. You actually already are empowered, right? So the more that you actually understand that, the more you can manifest whatever help you want for yourself in your life and not be affected by all of the BS. That's how they help, by you acknowledging who you are first. If you don't do that, you're not going to see anything. Okay? If you resist it, if you go off and you're just angry at the world or whatever, you won't see changes. You'll just see more of the same. And it's until people or humans decide that their life is important. Doesn't matter what colors people want to place on our shoulders or whatever, that we're all human beings, and as souls, we have the capacity in a sovereign being, as a sovereign being, we have the capacity to summon whatever assistance that we want. That won't happen until you know who you really are, until you empower yourself. If you don't give your power away to everybody all the time and all their drama and all their stories and all their issues, stop giving it away by saying no when you need to, being mindful of your energy, understanding yourself on these deeper levels, working on yourself, training others to do the same, because this is the only way forward. You're not going to be able to bring all of your nonsense with you on a beautiful, enlightened journey. It has to stay behind. It has to be sorted out. It has to be gotten rid of by you. The angels will help those who help themselves. God helps those who help themselves. It's in the Bible, isn't it? Right? And that's a true statement, energetically speaking as well. Your brothers and sisters of light on other planets will help you when you help yourself. I see it all the time. I see people talking about, oh, they're coming and they're going to do this and that and everyone's going to see them. Well, hurrah. But let me tell you, what's coming first is your connection. When you can connect with that, then you'll see it all. You'll be able to fix yourself. You'll be able to put yourself on a med bed. You'll be able to take yourself to ultimate healing. You'll be able to move on to your spiritual path and teach others. You'll be able to help heal others. You'll be able to activate all of your power without being egotistical, authoritarian, better than everybody else, but just in it, right? This is what I'm here to show you. Like, God, I always say, if I can do this, anybody can do this. Yes, I practice all the time. Yes, I'm always in my place of receiving. Yes, I read books and 1,000 things I'm doing all at once, right? All the time. I'm always trying to get to the next joyful, fun, exciting time, right? And working towards it. But I ask for something with complete trust that it's going to be there in the right way for all concerned. Maybe not in the way that I would like it to be, but I'm open. I'm not limiting myself on how that can be. And that's the other thing. Oh, you have to do this, and no. All you have to do is be open to not limiting yourself like everybody else limits you. Okay? We live in an unlimited universe. Therefore, you're an unlimited being. You don't have limits. You've had rules in place, and that's part of control. You've had hierarchies in place. That's because that's what you were taught. You know, you've had things that you had to follow, and okay, we're going to go up the ladder now, and then I'm going to get to 65, and then I'm going to retire. Change the rules. You know, I did. What, 30 something years ago? Been doing this online for 13 years. That was when I decided I'm not going to retire then. I'm doing this now. You know, I'm doing what I want to do now. I'm not going to take a deal from here or there or whatever. I'm just going to keep on being me, you know? And I remember talking to an actor friend of mine years ago, 2013 or something. And he said, no, that's the thing that stands out. Just be yourself. Don't. I said, well, maybe I should get, you know, a set or something, or maybe I should be this, or maybe I should do that. No. Just be yourself. That's what it is. And I'm like, you know, that's what it is. Yeah, I got Zoom on right now. I'm recording it. I get to have a little background. Woohoo! You know, I don't have a green screen. I don't have, you know what I'm saying? It's like, this is it. This is me. Here's my video. You know, sometimes I have makeup on. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes my hair's all sticking up in the air. Sometimes it's not. I don't care. The message is what I'm here for. You know, this is what you're here for as well. The message. What message do you give without saying a word? What message do you give to others, to your children, to your family? What message do you give? That you'll always just be there for them whenever they want to? Or that you are a strong beacon of light, and if they need something, they can ask? Doesn't mean you're always going to say yes, because your time is invaluable as well. You're actually important too. Wow, imagine that. And you'll find, and I did tell all of my students this, you will find that as you push forward and you start getting tough, you know, you start getting strong in yourself, because you're understanding that that's the most important mission here, is to empower yourself, right? Allow that empowerment out of the box kind of thing. And people don't like it. Why is that? False people are only in your life to control what you do, okay? That includes anyone in leadership or anyone that's above anything that we've done throughout our whole life, okay? They are there to control what we do, how we feel, and how we react to something. And it's worked so far. So when it stops working, when you're not going to take that anymore, when you're deciding enough is enough and you're moving forward, when that happens, okay, these people don't like it, because you're no longer going to do that crap anymore. And they're like wondering why not. And instead of looking at their own behavior, okay, because that would be something that someone who's genuine would do, they would look at their own behavior and see if they could fix anything. Someone who's disingenuous would go, well, she's one of those now, so, you know, let's see if I can find somebody else. That's what happens. And the thing is, when you're out of their life, they don't care, right? But when they're out of your life, you're wondering what you did. That's the difference between someone who's a narcissist and someone who's not, is you're actually going to have a conscience, right? The sad thing about narcissism is they never get help because they don't think they've done anything wrong, right? That's just how they are. And sadly, that's what happens. And that's a whole nother topic. But in this instance, friends who you thought you were friends, this is going to be hard too for you. You know, when you've known someone for a really long time, you guys have done things together and experienced together, laughed together, you know, rolled back on, you know, had one of them real big belly laughs together, and you think, oh my God, this person gets me, you know, we're on a roller coaster together. This person totally gets me. I'm gripping for a dear life right now and screaming my head off, and we're laughing about it, you know, and you think they're in this journey with you. You start getting less and less where you're at their beck and call, or less and less where you can just drop everything and go on a weekend trip away somewhere with them, or, you know, you're struggling with something or whatever. And where are they? They're not there, you know? It's like someone dies in your life and, you know, nobody thinks to send you anything, but you're right there for them, you know? That's a shock. It's a shocking reality that someone is not who you think they are. And really you knew all along anyway, but you weren't listening to that. You wanted there to be something there, you know, as we all do, but we all grow, we all change, we all shift. And what we need and what we want, you know, two different things. You know, what we need in our life to be strong is people who are also doing the same, not relying on you all the time, taking from you all the time till you feel like you're dried up, right? And that's what happens. And I'm telling you, it's about to shift again, okay? It's about to change again. This is why February is so important. Everything's going to flip upside down again, okay? And for us who are just aware of it, we're going to be able to navigate. But for everyone who's been believing all this BS all this time, and the narrative and the story and the this and the lies and the talk and the fighting and the corruption, they're going to be shocked, absolutely shocked, as this all begins to crumble and unfold, and you know, people are speaking about it and media gives way to it and they start talking. Not that we need that to happen, but it's going to happen, right? It's already happening. Look at all the countries. Oh, we've got the worst cases ever, so let's just stop all the masks now. Why do you think that is? You know, don't get me wrong. I laughed when I saw it all. You know, I was like, here we go. Here we go. This is what we've been talking about. Oh my God, here it is. Starting with the UK, right? Where it was terrible, terrible. And so now, as we move forward, I want to tell you as well, I have my Domino angel cards with me. So all of you who were asking me about Domino angel cards, and I told you they were in Australia, I just got a box yesterday full of them. They finally arrived. Okay, so you can get them on my website, either one, Rock and Gems or Divine Miracles, BDevine online, sorry. And if you're in Australia, I can't send anything to Australia just yet, but anywhere else we can. And I will also have some that are set up as a kit. So you'll have the cards, you know, some incense, some Palo Santo, some crystals as well. So I haven't got that kit set up yet, but it's coming. So the Domino angel cards are here. We have a new candle sort of thing that we're working on. I've got to test all of these candles before I can sell them, but they're going to be the wooden wick ones and unusual, you know, just made in unusual containers. Right? Getting them from just recycling them and making them again and putting them in beautiful glass containers, and ones like these as well. So these ones we're just going to test them all, but you'll be able to get whatever oils that you like made into the candles as well. So we're going to be going through such change here, and you know that you've always got support. You know that you've always got 1,600 videos to go look up, but also I can do, you know, I'm available for readings, not available for phone calls right now. I am available to talk you through things though, and to go through, you know, for example, if you wanted to have the deeper healing, you want to do the regression therapy, we'll work it out. Okay. Those things have to be done over the phone. So we'll work it out. I'd really love to see you at the academy so you can do it all for yourself. Right. And I'm also going to be offering cash incentives for that. So if you know somebody who would like to learn and they're ready to go, and they sign up, you'll get a cash bonus for it. Okay, but I'm working on that because that can't be something that's done through the site where the academy is. I'll have to do it myself. So I'm working on it. So many things coming up for all of us, right? We're pushing forward in this amazing time. This year is so much better. Okay, you can feel it, you can breathe a little bit. I know stuff's happened, I get it. I know some people are still going through it, I get it. You know, we're still going through the rubble, I guess you could say. But, you know, as things fall down, you've got the rubble to sift through, right? And sort out for yourself. But we're doing it. We're making it through. And I want you to all know that you're not stupid. You're not weak. You're not less than. You are completely capable. You are born capable of doing anything that you set your mind to. Anything at all. And if you need someone to be in your corner and cheer you on, you've got it. Okay, you've got it. It's there, and not that you need it, but just know that it's there. Okay, and as you move forward, and as things change, and as the world changes, and as we all see those changes, and as we all get compensated for the losses that we've had, and things start to, you know, it's going to take time, but it's going to come around. Okay, we'll be able to reconnect. Conferences will start happening, and, you know, connections with big dinners and things like that. Can't wait. You know, where you can just go and have a, you know, meet up for a dinner talk or something like that. You know, and all that stuff comes back again. And here we are moving forward anyway, right? I feel like again that there's something else that I need to do today. Well, maybe I've got my Domino Angel cards that are already open here, so why not finish off this message for you all with the Domino Angel cards. I never know how long I'm here for. There's no timer on this thing. Okay. What do we need to hear? There's two things. We have Archangel Haniel that's come forward, number 7, which is the same number as that card we had. And Archangel Haniel, which is number 9, okay? And that's a completion card. So Haniel says that there is a news of a sudden trip. Being on a plane, a bus, a train, any means of transport, it seems that you, something that you, it seems to be something unexpected that requires you to be there, okay? You may also be doing some extra study. This is part of your life purpose, of course. Best to have an overnight bag just in case you have to be somewhere or do something. And sometimes that just means the growth is inside of you and all of a sudden you're on this new journey, right? It's a good time to start new things, develop new skills. There will be an increase in your finances and rewards for past efforts. So yellow is Archangel Haniel's color, and that it brings things to happen. It's kind of like the 8 of Wands if you do tarot. Everything starts happening really quickly with Haniel. You'll be surprised at how things turn around, the speed of events, the journey that you're going on. Oh, you're going to go over here, over there. Maybe you're going to take a drive somewhere. You know, it's my husband and I's 2nd anniversary on the 20th of February, and we're going for a drive. And we might even stay overnight and leave the puppies at home with Corey, because we don't get away from them ever. So we're going to. But yeah, there's something that's coming in, rewards for the past as well. And then Archangel Haniel, one of my favorite archangels, is with you and reminds you that your kindness is very much appreciated. See, on top of my head, it's my salt lamp. You are about to receive some extra kindness from someone who's had a complete turnaround. Old friends, past lovers could come back with a surprising new outlook, which will bring relief. Maybe even if it's just for closure. Try to always be helpful and kind, even when it's the hardest thing that you could do. Anything is possible. Thank you, Archangel Haniel. And Haniel's color is dark purple. So Haniel works with the heart space. This is the most, if it's too active, it can cause problems as well, like insomnia and all this kind of thing. And if it's not active, it starts to affect the rest of the organs in the body as well, right? So you need to make sure you're balancing your heart space and the chambers inside of it. I'm not talking about the chambers that are connected to the heart, but the chambers that are connected to unconditional love, divine wisdom and knowledge as well. They are all situated here as the seat of your soul. So you are a soul, of course, and this is like the central part of you. And by doing everything in your heart, you're able to manifest anything you want as well. If you can feel it in there, you can make it happen. Okay. So it's a time right now where you're getting appreciation for who you are. You need to appreciate yourself. It's a time where time is speeding up. Events are getting, climatic. We're seeing all kinds of crazy things happen, and people who thought that they were invincible also coming down. So we're seeing all of those things as well. You're starting to understand yourself in a different way, hopefully. And let me know in the comments below what you would like to see for if you'd like to be a part of a webinar in the next few weeks or so, something that we can do unlisted on YouTube or whatever. What would it be if you were to do something, if you wanted to learn something, what would you like to learn? Well, I'll leave it up to you guys in the thing and I'll work it out. So hope you all enjoyed messages today. Again, I'm getting to have a talk with you all, okay? And I will be back next week sometime when I get a break in between teaching classes. Hope to see you at the academy, of course. And you can pay it off. It's 6 months interest-free payments, apparently. I didn't even know that. I wish I'd known that at the beginning because I would have told you all that. And get in while everybody's still in their first week or so. And you have plenty to go along with, right? And it takes you as long as it takes you. It doesn't bother me. But every week I will also be on Zoom live with you. And we go through question and answers of whatever subject we're on for that week as well. And it will get you into a point where you'll be able to develop really, really strong therapies for yourself, your clients, for, whatever's coming forward in our lives. And also to be really strong in who you are as you move forward. These are invaluable. I'm teaching you things that would take you a really long time to otherwise work out yourself, as it did for me, okay? And it starts off slowly, as everything does, but there's going to be a lot of information that's coming up in there. And really your lessons are about 2 to 3 hours long each lesson. So you've got a lot to listen to if you don't mind listening to my voice. That's all good. So let me know if you guys want cards. You can get them now from the websites. I can set you up kits as well with them, whatever, okay? So until the next time, everybody, be strong, be yourself, okay? Be empowered. Give yourself a break. Don't be hard on yourself for whatever goes on. Just start again the next day, all right? Have a smile on your face as things are really, you just got to be smiling because everything is going to be better than it ever was before, okay? In the new world that we're creating for ourselves with our thoughts, minds, and intention, okay? And sending lots of love to you all. And until the next time, many blessings. Bye for now. Bye.